Hi, I'm Danny Clockwork from Clockwork Orange, and you're listening to the House Culture Podcast.
Wicked.
Just keep doing them. Hi, I'm Danny Clockwork from Clockwork Orange, and you're listening to the House Culture Podcast.
Can you do an accent?
What accent do you want? I do Australian. Hi, I'm Danny Clockwork from Clockwork Orange, and you're listening to the House Culture Podcast.
Well, we could go worldwide with this.
Do
can't
Irish?
We? So Irish.
Yeah, hold on, Irish. It is. No, I can do Irish. Sound like Australian is what else you got? It'll come to me. South Africa. Hi, I'm Danny from Clockwork Orange. I'm Danny Clockwork from Clockwork Orange, and you're listening to the House Culture Podcast.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I sound schizophrenic.
I'll just chop all those up so it's a different accent all the way
How
through.
many brains? How many things has this geezer got?
House Culture.
Hello, and welcome to the House Culture Podcast. I'm your host, managing editor at House Culture, Matt Rouse. Thanks for joining us, for lending us your ears, and for those who don't know who we are or what we stand for, we at House Culture are a group, a gang, a collective of house music fans who have come together through their mutual love of the beat to celebrate the spirit of house music. You can follow us day to day on our Instagram feed at houseculture.net. However, what we're aiming to do with this podcast is to sit down with some of the most iconic characters from the scene for a candid chat to discover how they fell in love with the music and how it has shaped their life. In this episode, we talk to Danny Clockwork, one of the founders of the now worldwide Clockwork Orange series of parties. 2019 is a massive year for these guys. Not only are they launching their biggest UK event yet, Clockstock, which is being held at Chelmsford Racecourse on the 22nd of June, they are also celebrating their 25th year in Ibiza, with a bumper series of events across the island on the weekend of the 18th to the 22nd of July. These include boat parties, Clockstock at Benamusa Park, a 25th anniversary show at their spiritual home in Paradise, and the first all-day party under the glass roof of Amnesia. The House Culture crew, of course, will be there in full effect, so why don't you come party with us and Clockwork Orange in Ibiza this summer and buy your tickets now. But wait. Before you rush off and do that, let's hear from Clockwork Orange co-founder Danny Clockwork himself. In this chat, we wanted to know how they got started in Ibiza and how a quarter of a century later they're still going strong. It's extremely frank and unscripted, covers the highs of promoting your own massively successful events.
The highest euphoria you can achieve is what we went for, and we got it. That's why it was just like, wow, you know.
Through to the lows of a life lived on the absolute limit.
You get these people and they go, oh, I'm mad. I was insane, like totally insane. Live for drink, live for drugs. Almost like I had a personal hotline to the devil. I was a lunatic.
Yet, he's come out the other side and carries with him a bag full of hilarious anecdotes.
Quite funny runs. Once my mum come to one party at Camden Palace in 1995 and I dropped acid.
And also has plenty to say about his love of house music.
House music's given me my life. My life has been house music. That is it.
So, brace yourself, get ready to jump on the roller coaster that is the story so far of Danny Clockwork.
House Culture.
Danny, it's great to have you here. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming in. You're one of the founders of the Clockwork Orange series of parties, a massively successful brand, both in the UK and in Ibiza. You guys are celebrating your 25th anniversary on the island this summer with a huge series of events. Before we come on to that, we've been talking beforehand at House Culture, want to know how it all got started. Can we rewind to the time before Clockwork Orange was even a thing? Talk about you specifically. What was it originally that got you into house music? What's your story?
What got me? I can tell you. And this ain't no plug either, because I'm writing a book. It's nearly finished, and all this stuff that you're talking about explains it now.
Yeah.
I started off. I was never really one of these kids who was into like The Cure or U2 and all that. I used to do my nutting. My mate used to like it, and then I got into that later. Like 88, 89, a bit later, when one of my friends used to play that stuff, and there was certain stuff that I liked. But when I was about 11 or 12, 83, 81, round about that kind of era, there used to be, it was in for Dave Pearce on a Monday night, Radio London, and he used to do a hip-hop show. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with hip hop, with the old stuff like Public Enemy, KRS-One, Cormo D, you name it. Before all this stuff that's going on now, and done all the the beatboxing at school and all that, and just totally fell in love with hip hop. Then hip house came out.
Yeah,
it's like, what's that? It's another little dimension. Loved that. And then my first job actually was literally about 10 minutes away. 10 minutes away, or 5 minutes walk over the road in Tabernacle Street, just round here, 1988. Sony Walkman, listening to the radio, and I was going through all the stations, and this radio station come on called, I was 16, working in this thing as a postboy, and this radio station, Sunrise FM, came on, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? I knew of house music, do you know what I mean? But and I was listening to it at work, and I remember the stuff. I've actually got the original. I could find it on my Facebook now if I really looked hard. I've got the original piece of paper from that day, 1988, about May, maybe, of the original stuff, like Jesus Loves Acid, Roxanne Shante, Sharp as a Knife. I can see the paper now in my head. And I wrote them all down because I was like, what is this? What is this music? And it went on from there, and I listened to that every day. And then 1989, Centerforce came out, and then your classics, Korea, Voodoo Rays, and all stuff like that. And it just went on from there, really. And then I just fell in love with it, and I was like, "What is going on here?" Do you know what I mean? It was my sound.
Yeah,
house music was my sound. It was me. Do you know what I mean? It spoke to me. Mm-hmm. Without like trying to sound too whatever. Yeah, it just spoke to me. I was like, "What is this?" You know what I mean? I want more of it. I craved it.
It was a brand new sound, and I suppose during that period you were living in and around London.
No, I've always lived in Essex.
Yeah. Okay. So, were there any parties that you going to find and seek this music out?
Yeah, I used to go Echoes in the Bow Road, which was Centerforce, and they used to do a Saturday night. But there's a one sound that just really spoke to me. I love house music. I love the classics. I love house music now. But the Balearic kind of, then you had it was Balearic and the Belgium New Beat, it was called. And Obscurities and Deletions. There was a DJ there called Tony Wilson on a Friday. It was called Tranquility on a Friday at Echoes. And, this was like 1989 and all the big warehouse raves going on and stuff like that. But the stuff that he plays was totally different. And I was like, what is this sound? And even now, his sound to me is amazing. He can't mix for toffee, he'll admit it, and he plays for Clockwork. He can't mix to save his life. If his life depended on it, he would die. But his music is just off the scale. It's off the scale, and it's unique. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, all the DJs in that era, 87, 88, 89, were playing that sound, but he still plays that today.
Yeah. Well, it's indicative of there wasn't much. It was more around creating a vibe, and I suppose that Balearic sound coming off the island, it was difficult for those DJs to source that music, so they were playing a bit of everything, B-sides, long-form remixes,
totally.
And kind of mixing it all up totally.
U2, Italia House, your classics, that Belgium New Beat. His stuff was totally mismatch of everything, and there was no mixing, you know what I mean? You pull this one in, you pull that one in, and there was no real... Then it was more like it was a continuous thing all day long, but all night long. But it's not until the later years like that real euphoria came out, that like intensity, that kind of stuff. I just need to take this phone call, sorry.
Duty calls.
Yeah, totally. You've got to make it up as you go sometimes, especially when you're juggling so many balls.
Yeah, no, I mean, busy. So, yeah, we were talking about the Balearic vibe that you would hear a DJ kind of create, being completely different from a really smoothly mixed set. It was more around just playing tracks and creating
chopping them in and out,
yeah,
fading them in and out. There was no beat matching. That came like 89, 90, 91. People were still trying their hand at doing it. And then it came like, 92, 93, people were mixing like solid.
Yeah.
Try and mix them old tunes now, it's virtually impossible because they're all over the show. They're like wobble in and out and you're forever like trying to speed this one up. It's virtually impossible.
Yeah, and a lot of them were live, had live drummers on and things like that, and they kind of move all over the place.
You listen to any of them old mixes from 89 now, it's shocking. It's shocking to today's standards, but them standards, it didn't matter. One of my old favourite tapes was that man I was talking about just now, Tony Wilson. And it's fading in and out, and one tune might go boom, 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 and he brings this one on, fades that one out, and that's it. It's one of my most favourite tapes.
Yeah, and it's more about that rawness, isn't it, and just creating that vibe.
It's the music. It wasn't about how tight they were with the mixes, but that's the euphoria of today, is having two tunes like playing together, which creates that buzz, you know, which creates a euphoria.
Yeah, I mean, we can come on later to kind of the difference between then and now, I suppose. But so you're still in this era, 89, 90, you know, discovered like that kind of Balearic vibe. The whole kind of early rave scene was going on as well, like warehouse parties and things like that. Were you ever going to those, or were you more seeking out this?
No, I didn't. I didn't manage to go. I was only 17. I was working in the greengrocers. I was earning £100 a week for a 6-day week. So you work that out. That's what, £15 a day. You know, when these labourers today tell me, they go, I'm only earning 40 or 50 or 60 pound a day, and I say to them, listen here, don't go there. I used to work my knackers off for like £100 a week. And a ticket to like one of their big raves then was 40, 50 quid, you know. And if you're talking about everything else and all your drinks and getting there and all that, you're talking over £100. And I just couldn't afford it when I was too young. It was
commitment.
That is my only regret in life. Not for everything that I lost due to like drug addiction and alcoholism and all that stuff. I've got no qualms with that whatsoever. One of my biggest things is I wish I'd gone to the Midsummer Night's Dreams, to the Genesis, to the Biologists. That is it. The girlfriends I lost, the people I upset, I don't care. I just wish I'd experienced that.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't think that's exclusive to you either, to be honest. I think everyone that's into the scene now is...
Yeah. Just them big ones, you know, the stuff with that. And just to have had that under my belt, to have said that I was there at that time. But I've recreated that in Clockwork anyway. You know, in the festival that we're doing and the parties we've done over the years. I've done car parks, I've done film studios. So we've recreated it. We've recreated what I lost. So in a way, I shouldn't really worry about it. I should have no
You're
regrets.
recreating,
I should have no regrets.
It's that DIY spirit, isn't it? Putting it all together on the fly.
Printworks is one of the most amazing venues ever. It's fantastic. 5,000 people, an old converted warehouse, which was the Evening Standard building. And we've done it in September, absolutely smashed the living granny out of it. And that's true. That's not like someone trying to self-promote, because I wouldn't do a party. If my parties were just good or normal, then I'd stop. Unless they're anything above and beyond and they take you to somewhere else that you never thought was imaginable, then there's no point in me doing it. There's no point.
Yeah.
It's got to be something special.
So we could talk about Printworks and everything like that. But before we even get to there, so what point were you at when you thought you'd been somewhere, some event or something, and took a step back maybe and thought, I want to put these on myself. I want to create a brand, a club night, a vibe with all these people, with these DJs, something that's kind of mine and I own. Was that ever a feeling
I never did.
You had?
There was things I was doing in and around London that I got arrested for. Yeah, let's just say it that. That's quite a good way of saying it, isn't it? And then I met these boys when I was out in Naked Lunch one night. And this thing that I was doing that I got slung out for, with this geezer, he gave me a lift home and we was talking and all that, and we became friends, and I became friends with one of his friends. And I knew a lot of people because I was going to, on a Friday, I was going to Hole in the Moon in Deptford Broadway, which was Tony Wilson. Then Saturday I was either going to the Gas Club or to Naked Lunch in the Val Bon in central London. They were your main 2-3 gaffs that you was going to at the time. And I met Andy, my partner, and we were just talking all that, and he said, you fancy doing a party? And I was like, dunno. He said, well, I'll do the DJ and you know people, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, give it a go. And that was it. Just give it a go. Once I'd done the first one, then I had the bug for it. Once you've done one, that's it. You can't leave it there. It's like a tattoo. Someone says I'm going to get one tattoo. I started with one tattoo. I've got the tattoo on my hand there. Now I've got about 40. It's an addiction. Do you know what I mean? You've got to keep bettering. You've got to keep doing better. Putting on better events, more stuff, bigger this, more lasers. Making it amazing. We started off with 2 DJs, and then most of our things now have got like 20 on it. Like the festival's got 66.
Yeah, I mean, so Andy, your partner, he was the DJ.
That's it.
And at what point did DJing come in for you? Was it?
I started having a little go in about when I met Andy, and then Andy had decks, I said, give me a go. Teach me how to do it, or just teach me the fundamentals. If we went round to his house and everyone was sitting in the living room, I'd say, can I come up in your bedroom and have a mix? Anyone I met who had decks, I used to go, can I have a mix? And then I started having to go in the second room, which was like Camden Palace. And it's quite funny once. Once my mum come to one party at Camden Palace in 1995 with her friend, and I dropped acid. And I dropped.
Were you DJing at this? And you?
No, this is what I'm going to tell you the story.
Yeah,
I dropped a microdot, and I'm up in the top room in Camden Palace, and I'm standing there. Obviously, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm just standing there, and I thought we had a PA in the main room because I could hear singing in the main room, and I could hear singing on the decks. But it turned out that I had two records just playing. They weren't in mix. They were just playing. And both had vocals in it, and no one's dancing. They're just standing there watching me, and I didn't know what was going on. And I looked at the decks, saw that they were both on spinning. I didn't even know how to turn them off. I was that pickled. And then Brandon Block turned up because he was on next. So I had about half hour of my set left, and I was like, I can't do it no more. I went, you just have to play. I just took my vinyl off. My mum never saw me that night, funny enough. And I saw her at the beginning, and then she never saw me in the state I was in, and I just took the stuff off the decks, and that was it. But then from then on in, used to do the back rooms, but then when we started doing it again, used to it's different now. The music you get now is not like the old days with the vinyl. All my vinyl I lost and got broken and thrown away and left in clubs in big record boxes and stuff like that. And when the new stuff started coming out, it's like, oh, now you can get like 500 tunes in a day, and it costs you 500 quid, but they're like £1 each, and you download them, and they're all solid beats, and it's a lot easier. And I started off playing in the second room, and I was like, no, I want a bit of the main room. So it's when Clockwork relaunched that I started about 5 years ago. We've been going about 6 or 7 years ago now. Hold on, am I 47? 7 years ago. Goes so quick. Relaunched, and after about a year or 2 years, I said I want a bit of the main room, and that was it. Went from there.
And you've got the taste.
Yeah, that is my buzz today. Music was always my buzz. What I loved, and as a friend of mine, Von, who's in recovery, same as me, he turned around and he said to me, it was always about the music, Dan, he said, but the drink and the drugs got in the way. And that is the truth. It was always about the music.
Yeah, none of that stuff comes first. The music always comes first, and then everything else follows. Yeah. So if you can get yourself back to that point,
which I have, and that's the buzz.
That's
the buzz. When you're DJing, you could wait 3 hours to go on and DJ, or 2 hours, and them hours go so slow. But that hour and a half when you're playing, or them 2 hours or that hour, it's like in a blink, because you're lost in it. You're so concentrating on what you're doing and what you got to create. It's over. It's over so quick. Yeah. And that's the buzz. That's my buzz today.
And you can turn up these days, and your tunes are in a pocket. You're not leaving them. In
USB sticks. Anyway. Yeah, you've got like 50 million zillion tunes on a USB. You lose them USBs, you're buggered.
Yeah,
you're buggered. But now you have like backups. You have about 6 different USBs, all with the same stuff. So if that one don't work, that one don't work. If you got about to the 5th one and they all didn't work, then I think you'd be a bit worried.
That's it. So let's rewind again to just about the formation of Clockwork. You were saying that you were kind of unsure about putting on a party with
I wasn't
Andy,
unsure. Yeah, I had to be not persuaded, but like, yeah, it'd be good. Come on, we'll do it. And that was it. I got involved. There was 4 of us originally, 4 of us, all friends, and then me and Andy cracked on. One of them was a barrister. He wanted to concentrate on being a barrister. The other one just didn't want to do it, and me and Andy cracked on. And then in '94, Andy said to me, because I used to go to Ibiza every summer for like a month or whatever. And I said to him, I'm going to Ibiza. And he said, why don't we take Clockwork to Ibiza? And I went, oh, you're mad. I said, we've only been going a little while. I said, who knows what Clockwork is? So he spoke to Brandon Block. Brandon Block spoke to S Paradise. S Paradise said, come in and have a chat. Went in and they went, we'll give you Wednesdays. I was like, what? That was it. And within 4 weeks, we had the flyers printed, the DJs booked. Used to ring them at home them days. John Digweed, Judge Jules, Brandon Block. You ring them up. Their mum might answer the phone or you leave a thingy, because no one had no mobiles. The internet weren't even invented until about 94, 95. So it's a different world.
Totally.
Makes me feel old. Before cars, do you know what I mean? When the milk floats had horses. You talk to kids now, they talk about horses and milk floats. They ain't got a clue. But Yeah, we went out there and that was it. We just cracked on. The first summer was all right, but what it did is it catapulted us above everyone else.
Yeah.
Because all those people in Ibiza from Leeds or Nottingham or Southampton, they all started to become aware about Clockwork, whereas our competition in London was just London-based.
Yeah. And I mean, so even taking, it's a massive, bold step, and it came together really quickly by the sounds of things. So was it just word of mouth from the events? I mean, you guys never used to sell tickets up front. It was always on the door.
No, it was never tickets in the old days. Never tickets. The only time we did a ticket was for the birthday. Then it was flyers on cars or standing outside clubs.
Yeah.
So you go to a club, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, you go Ministry of Sound, you'd walk around, put all the tickets on, all the flyers on the cars. Then someone would walk behind you and take all your flyers off. Then you walk around again, put them all up, and then threaten to beat them up. And then, flyers in, you get them little plastic gloves from the petrol garages, stop your hands getting covered in petrol. We used to put our flyers in them and then put them underneath the windscreen, because our flyer originally, the Clockwork one, had a hand in it. So we used that and it looked quite effective. It cost us nothing. Going to all the petrol garages, stealing all their gloves, putting all the flyers in there. And posters in shops and word of mouth. Yeah, because there was no internet, there was no database, there was no Facebook, Instagram, all these social media sites that people have got now. It was the old school way of doing it. Old school. And it built up that way. And
a lot of that audience was the people in Ibiza at that time. You weren't really promoting it outside of London in the UK, or it was all people coming back to the UK saying, "I went to this event."
UK, yeah, and then finding out about it. It was like things like Time Out, or in the listings of Mix Mag and things like that, or if you did an advert. The first ever New Year's Eve gig we did for about 3,000 people was 1994, and we'd done a full-page black and white advert in Mixmag. Yeah, New Year's Eve, Clockwork Orange presents New Year's Eve Spectacular, I think it was, at the Old Vic. Or, no, it was a car park in London Bridge. Yeah, 3,500 people, big massive marquee. There was 2 toilets. I'm not laughing, I'm not joking. There was 2 toilets, 3,500 people. The queue was like from here to Colchester. It was mad. We had a pickup truck with a shutter on the back as the cloakroom. And at the end of the night, it's like 300 or 400 people going like, "Where's my coat?" And like, there's no coats in the back of the thing. Everyone's just like walked off with the wrong coat. It was a big letter was sent into Time Out, and over the years.
Even do you think that's like the difference between now and then? It was maybe a letter in Time Out. People might have been complaining, but like now, if that something like that happened, it could kind of completely undermine what you've done, because it would be all over the social media.
Yeah, it's social media,
yeah.
Yeah, social media, yeah. And that's the hardest thing now, like, is keeping a... See, we've got a group, Clockwork Orange group, it's like a member. It used to be open group, and now it's closed. And all things go on there. And even like yesterday, it's almost like it's created its own little family, like world, like the Orange Army, what we call it. And then someone was saying there's too much of this being put on there and all these people, so you have to delete that. Then someone said, is it like, and it's almost like it's another family thing you've got to got to control. And then people post the same thing, so you've got to delete this. And that's a bit too near the mark, so you delete that. And then you get a message, why have you deleted my post? What does it fucking matter? Like, what are you trying to achieve? You're not going to take over the world. It's a bit of laugh. If it's been deleted, it's for a reason. And you keep trying to say to them, like, if you're putting about other people's parties, or you're trying to promote yourself as a DJ, well, it's a Clockwork Orange page. That's it. So that's another aspect, social media.
So the Ibiza story, you're kind of fully ensconced in Es Paradis. That's your home in Ibiza in that first era.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, and was there ever a point where you were thinking outside of that, or were you happy where you were? Were you getting wooed by anyone else on the island, or how did you operate on the island?
So if you look at it, 94 was given the opportunity. Then 95 was when it kicked off. The first party we'd done in 1995, we had Jeremy Healy, Lisa Loud, John Please Women, and Boy George come with John Please Women. I'm 22 years old, thinking I'm the king of Ibiza. Boy George, Jeremy Healy. It's the first time we got Jeremy Healy. We've been trying since we started. And I just thought I was the king. And in 95, we'd done all right. We'd upgraded from an apartment in San Antonio to a villa with this crazy German geezer called Uwe, who used to keep a Magnum in their safe with real bullets. Oh, yeah. Crazy man. Good geezer. when we met him the first night, and we had the money for his villa in our pocket. It was like $5,000 for the summer. You can't even get a villa $5,000 a week now. And he went. The first things he said, he went, let me think about what he said. He went, if you boys ever get any trouble, if you was to ever kill anybody, this is what he said. He went, if you was to ever kill anybody, let me know. I can sort it out. I've got a boat. And I went, what? And then he went, have you got my deposit? Or have you got my money for the villa? I went, of course I've got your money for the villa. And then he went, come have a look at this. It was crazy. It was like a badger. And he went, he opened the safe, and he went, this is a code for the safe. And he went, look, Magnum, bullets, don't play with it. So we got pissed, went out, we got drunk, come back that night, got the gun out, no bullets, making sure there's no bullets in it, spinning it around, trying to show off. Hey! And he was always around. He was always watching when you didn't know he was watching. Next morning when we woke up, the safe was open, the bullets were gone, and the gun was gone. And I went, that was yours, wasn't it? He went, I told you not to play with it. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, where was you? Where was you? You know, he gave us an air rifle, an air pistol. We shot all his plant pots, all his satellite dish, shot his dog. We shot all his glasses, his plates, shot our friends.
Not with the Magnum, hopefully.
No, with an air rifle.
Yeah.
An air rifle. We used to fill it up with paper, and if you shoot someone close with it, it used to cut you and make big, massive bruising. So we used to get drunk and do that. And at the end of the summer, it cost us $5,000 to rent it, but he wanted $2,000 in damages. And we had to pay it because he made sure we paid it before we went home. He went, don't forget what I've got in the safe. I was like, I've got your money, I got it to you now. Yeah, so then it went 95, 96, crazy mad year. And then people were like asking us questions, and then it was Star Club then. Then it went into, I can't even remember what it's called because I've never wanted to do a party there. One opposite S Paradise.
Eden,
yeah. I'm not being funny. It's like an English club in the sun. I can't stand it. I really can't stand it. I walked in, 99, 2000 when they launched it. I walked in and walked out. I was like, no. Then Amnesia were asking, and then some guys we know, they went into Amnesia, and 2000 with a big court case out there, and then it all finished really. It all went a bit double wonky from there. And our last year was Together on Clockwork Orange presents Together. 2001, and I went, that's it. I'm finished. I'm done.
I mean, we can get into that a bit further on. I just want to talk about those highs that we were talking earlier about how 98 was the biggest year, but 97 there was Ibiza Uncovered. Was that 97?
Yeah.
Was that? I suppose just for people that might be listening that might even not know what Ibiza Uncovered was, it was like one of those shows that was on Sky One. It was one of the original reality TV shows, and just following people around who were having a summer on Ibiza. And you guys as Clockwork Orange featured quite heavily in that.
Yeah, Andy, my partner, was asked to do it, and he contacted the producers, and it was through Jeremy Healy's agent. What was her name then? Can't remember what her name was. And I said, would you be interested? And he said, yeah. And then our party was on a Wednesday, and Andy was supposed to meet him at Cafe Mambo on the Wednesday morning. And he just went out and got proper pickled. And at about 7 o'clock in the morning, he come into my room and he went, I ain't been to bed. He went, I can't beat these guys at 10 o'clock. He went, you'll have to do it. And I went, no worries. So I met him, and we'd done all the filming and all that. And then he woke up about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then in the night time, came down to Mambo's, where we had the pre-part, and he said, I'll do it. I'm ready for the filming now. They went, no, that's all right. We'll stay with Danny. We're going to keep it as it is. And we've done the filming. And then in the end because of Ibiza Uncovered, in September of 1997, we beat the all-time record what Up Your Ronson set in 95, which is about 2,500 players, 2,400. And we got 2,500. And at the end of 97, and I was standing there up the top in VIP, in this area anyway, as a bar, not VIP, and talking to Jeremy Healy. Jeremy Healy's just smashed it. Then the doorman comes up, Paco, who used to work there, and he said to me, tonight you've beaten the record of because of Ibiza Uncovered, because it came out about August, and anybody who came out in September basically came to Clockwork or went to Manumission. And then in 1998, it was a result of that and a result of the parties, and it all just catching a light. We went from 2,400, 2,500, 2,700, 2,900, 3,100, went up to 3,500 people. Wow. And it was packed. It was rocking every week.
Yeah.
Even when we finished in 1998 on the 12th or the 17th of September, the week later on the 24th, they still had 3,000 people in there, and we'd gone home. Such was that momentum, you know what I mean? But then 99 in Ibiza just exploded with promoters. Everybody came out there, and what was once special, an individual, was now just, that was it. It was just all watered down. There was too many people, too many promoters.
Other promoters in terms of other UK clubbing brands?
Yeah, all UK, yeah. God's Kitchen come out in 99, basically using the same DJs we was using. Some of them a bit bigger, with a better promotional backing at Amnesia, because where we weren't getting nothing. It was all us. But then they had a different marketing strategy, which was good, which was respected, you know. But it was always like, you know, in the old days, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, it was Money Pennies and Manumission on a Monday. It used to be Tuesdays Manumission at Pasha. Wednesdays was Clockwork and Renaissance. Thursdays was Cream. Fridays was Ministry at Pasha. Saturday was nothing. There was never nothing on a Saturday. And that was one of my downfalls in later years, that I did a Saturday. And then Sunday was Space. That's when all the promoters come together on a Sunday and they did Space. It was all, back in the day, it was all day parties. That was the only day party. All the other promoters were night parties. Now it's all day parties. No one wants to do night. Do you know what I mean? It's totally reversed. How have we never got that in the old days? Do you know what I mean? It's so much easier. Staying up till 12 o'clock at night and then working till 7 o'clock in the morning, just so tiring. But now all our parties are day parties.
Yeah.
Apart from Mess Paradise this year, which is an after party, but that's about it.
So that period at S Paradise, what was the vibe like? What was the classic lineup of DJs at a Clockwork Orange event, and what was the vibe like that you guys created?
The vibe,
the
lineup.
How did you just judge success at that point? Were you after a particular vibe, or just getting people in the door?
I'll tell you exactly what it was. Your DJ lineup was Jeremy Ely, Judge Jules, Tall Paul, Seb Fontaine, John Kelly, Brandon Alex, people like Sister Bliss, Lisa Loud, all along them lines. That's who we was booking. The success was a packed club, not three-quarters packed, not half-packed, packed club. It didn't start off like that. 94, 95 had its moments. 96 was a bit of a bad year in RB all around for everyone. 97 packed, 98 packed, 99 half to three quarters. The way that we gauged it, or the way that we is euphoria, like pure and utter people going, like not just like bopping around, crazy. I've got videos of people on people's shoulders, jumping up and down, screaming, going mental, with everyone around them jumping. You can't get no better. You can't get no higher than that. The highest euphoria you can achieve is what we went for, and we got it. That's why it was just like, wow, you know, wow. The videos I've got now are like packed, rocking, and that's what I always associated everything with. But when we came back, I realised that not everybody's into that up-tempo euphoria stuff. Now it's a bit more different. You can put that DJ on then, and this DJ might play different stuff, but that's all right because everyone will go for something different now. You know, instead of a specific sound that's like, you know, like trance. In the end, it was trance, and I've listened to some of them old videos back, and I was like, it's banging, and it's like bang, bang. It's like this quick, bang, 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 and I was like, oh, that's ugly. It's ugly, but that's what it was now. Then, do you know what I mean? That's what it was.
Yeah, and that had its place at that time. Yeah. But in a night party, I suppose you can't really get that light and shade in terms of tempo. Whereas you guys are doing day parties now. That's what it's all about.
And
there's
it
a bit
builds
more
now.
To mix it up.
Yeah, it builds now. Yeah.
So massive success. You know, you alluded to it earlier about a big court case in Ibiza in 2000. Where did you kind of fall out of love with the island? What was the story there?
I never fell out of love with the island. What I fell out of love with was just working for 6 months or a year on a project, and at the end of it, losing money on money. And like, you know, if you've got a drug addiction and you want to drink yourself to death, which I had, I basically wanted as much money as I could for powder. That is a truth. And if I was working for 6 months, it don't matter about that the DJ's fees had gone up like astronomical. The agent's fees have gone up astronomical. Some of the DJs have gone up like times 4.
In what period? In like a 5-year period?
4 years. 3 or 4 years. Yeah, gone like massive, you know, from like paying them £300-400 to like £1,500. I never fell out of love with Ibiza. There was a period in 2000, I think it was 2001, when Clockwork Orange was doing. We was doing in conjunction together with. Together, the party that is now at Amnesia with our friend Danny Newman from Turnmills. I thought I was totally when I tell you, like, you get these people and they go, "Oh, I'm mad." I was insane. I was like totally insane. Live for drink, live for drugs. Almost like I was like I had a personal hotline to the devil. I was a lunatic. And I remember driving around on the first night of this new party, and I was leaving San Jose. And as you go up into San Jose, you look back and you can see the whole of the Bay of San Antonio, and the sun was setting. And I prayed and I went, "Please make this new venture something special." Basically, all I wanted was loads of money for drinking drugs. That was if I'm being honest, if I think about it now in hindsight. And that first party was all right. I was being filmed on MTV. I was being filmed on Ibiza Uncovered 2. I was being filmed by Train Spotters. I had a court case going on. I was running this party on my own, and it was just all too much. And this first party, and I was like, I remember the stress that night. I remember the stress, the mad stress. And I prayed and I went, "Please make this party something special." And it weren't. And I was like, Ibiza's not listening to me. Ibiza's an island. I mean, how crazy do you want to be? Do you think an island's going to sort something out? It's got mystical, something magic about Ibiza. That's why I go. And when I step off the plane now, I want to buy somewhere this year. I've wanted to do it for many, many years. And I thought, yeah, I'll be for this and I'll be for that. No, it's you. It's what you do and what you achieve and how hard you work is how you accomplish and you make something a success. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And Clockwork, same thing. It's like, you know, in London, you know, working hard and 6 months and then it all just, and I was like, that's it. Can't do it no more. Can't do it no more.
Yeah.
Left. Just finished.
Wow. I mean, so during that period when you were in Ibiza for 6 months of the year, when you came back to the UK, what was the day job? Was it just pure Clockwork Orange, like organising?
So I'd get home and I'd get back to my flat, and Monday in my head was manumission, so I got right on it. Tuesdays was money pennies, so I got right on it. Wednesdays was Clockwork, so I got right on it. Thursdays cream, Fridays, and then Saturday, I think I still got right on it. And even on a Sunday, you go down the pub all day, and as soon as you had that first drink, I wanted to get on it. You know, I was on it all the time, smoking this, drinking that, taking this. Yeah, wow. it was just hell for leather.
So you've been through the fire on that one.
Yeah, totally. 16 years sober and clean. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah. You want to know what hell's like? I could tell you. Trust me. But my mum said when she was passing away, I said to her, I don't want to get into that religious thing, but I went to her. Do you believe in God, Mum? Do you believe in heaven? And she said, because she was an alcoholic as well, and she said, I've been to hell, so I know what heaven is like. I've been to hell, so I know what that's like. She said, this is heaven. You know what I mean? If you're ever going to think it's going to get any better from the mountains, the seas, the trees, the nature, that's heaven. It ain't going to get no better than that. You're not going to go above the clouds and there's like this like McDonald's universe like of endless sweets and you can eat chocolate and not get fat and look at all this cocaine, it don't mess your head up and you can drink all the wine you want and you're never going to be crazy and mad and bloated, you know? It's not that. Where I am now is basically what my mum said. It's like your own personal version of utopia. It is.
Wow. I mean, so that's completely changed your outlook on life. Yeah. It's amazing.
I would have probably bitten you by now in the old days. That's the God's truth. Just to see how much noise you made. Like if you'd have gone like, that hurts, or you know, what are you doing? Like, you know, I would have bitten you. Yeah, I used to bite people. I thought it was normal. I thought it was normal to bite people. Yeah, done it to Jeremy Healy once on our 7th birthday, and I just across the crowd we had about 3,000 people there. I worked so hard on this party, and it was successful. Just about. But it was like the old days. It had that about a warehouse, Trinity Boy Wharf. It was big lighthouse in London, overlooking the newly built O2 Dome, or the Millennium Dome as it was called then. I just saw this neck, And I went through the crowd. I was just like, and I was like a pit bull. So I bite you in the neck and hold on to it. And I was shaking him. And this geezer was going, He looked over his shoulder. And it was Jeremy Ely. And I went, oh, Jeremy. And I went normal. And I went, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was you. He went, it doesn't matter if it's me or not. He said, you shouldn't be biting people. He was actually on his knees going, oh. I went, I'm so sorry. He went, but you shouldn't be biting people. I went, but it's just normal for me, Jeremy, really, to be honest.
But he still plays for you now, so there's no hard feelings, is that right?
I'll tell you something, what is great is that time is a healer. Jeremy was always good as gold. Jeremy, to me, was the king of Clockwork. 1998, he did a 5-hour set on the 5th of August. Let me get this right. It was the 5th anniversary of Clockwork, 5-hour set on the 5th of August. And it's probably one of my most cherished memories. It was just like 3,500 people staring at this one guy, focuses on him, and he like took him on a journey. He took him on a journey. And that's the thing now with a 5-hour set. You can do that. And, you know, Jeremy was just take him on a journey. And he's a pop star. He was the king. Do you know what I mean? He was the king. But even all those frayed relationships that we had back in the day, it's all gone. It's all changed, you know. Because the frayed relationships, because of like what I used to get up to. Do you know what I mean? I'd go past your restaurant or where you worked, and I'd throw an air bomb in there, like in Ibiza. There's honestly, I'd light it in a car. I'd light a joint, light this air bomb, and just go throw it through the window. Air bomb repeater, boom, 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 boom. Always people running out and smoke. I was like, yeah, sticking my fingers up as I drove up the road. Didn't care.
Wow.
I was on a one road path of destruction. That was it.
It only leads to one place, I suppose.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah.
And rock bottom. Yeah, nearly killed myself, yeah.
Wow. You know, like a phoenix from the flames.
Took a long time.
Yeah.
Took a long time, yeah.
And there was always, I suppose, when you were, you know, you said goodbye to all of that lifestyle, you're sorting yourself out in terms of in the UK. What was the day job in those years then? We were talking earlier
I started off as a labourer.
Yeah.
I started off as a labourer, sweeping the floors. And then my mate, who used to work with me in Ibiza, Catford Dan, he gave me a job as a tape and jointer. So you're doing jointing. And I don't know, my arse from my elbow. I had more gear on me than I did on the walls. That's God's honest truth. I used to go home and look like I've been working in Trafalgar Square covered in pigeon shit. And it was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. It'd go like that with a trowel, it'd go all over me. I was like, oh, God. But it was paying me good money. And I used to have to wear a hat, and I've always been a rebel for the rules and all things like that. I'm getting better, but I always rebel to authority. And the bloke would walk round with a clipboard and he'd go, put your hat on, mate. And I was on my hands and knees doing this, and I'd go, yeah, all right, no problem. Take your headphones out, mate. I'm listening to Frank Sinatra live at the Sands. Have you ever heard that?
It's amazing, yeah.
Have you heard it?
Yeah,
The real concert live at the Sands. Absolutely amazing. Listening to that, in my own world, like, you know, just thinking there, going, right, I'll be home soon, I can get on it, I can get pissed, I can smoke this. Take your headphones off, mate. Can't have music. All right, no worries. Clean that shit off the frame. You know what I mean? Okay, no worries. Yeah, and did that. Then met this other guy, this site manager, this man, and I said to him, like, I told him what I'd done, and like, you know, he was like, really? I went, yeah. I went, I've just come from like running things all over Europe, doing it all myself, like this, that, the other. I said, you got any jobs as a site manager? And he went, yeah, we're looking at the moment. It's a company called MPG. He was my boss, Paul McSloy, and my current boss, which is my director now, a guy called Maurice Crawley. And they interviewed me, turned up in one of my old Prada suits and Prada belts and Prada shoes and all that. And the geezer went, fucking hell, you come for the director's job? I went, nah, site manager. And I told him all about the bugle and getting on it. And I said I'd done some TV work. And at the end of the interview, he went, I like ya. He went, I'll offer you the job now. I was like, wow, a normal job. Medical. Pension, weekends off, car allowance. It was really good. I was like, oh, I felt proud about it. And about a month later, my director was on site in the canteen one morning. He went, hey, come here. I went, what's that? He went, you know when you come and saw me for the interview? He started telling me about all the TV work. He went, I thought, what a load of rubbish. He said, who come on my telly last night when I'm sitting with my daughters watching the telly? I'll be front covered. He went, they're doing a repeat. He went, you. He went, I'm so sorry that I didn't believe you. And I went, I told you. But
and you kept the job after that?
I stayed with him for 8 years, yeah, and worked my way up from the site manager, finishing foreman, site manager, grade 3, 2, and then 1, and I become project manager. I'm running jobs like, 100 men on my own, 33 stories. 100% on everything. And the reason why I left that company is that I got knocked on a bonus, and I went, okay. And I went around for a few years, and where I am now, I'm really happy.
Excellent. And
still got a day job. Still got a normal
job. The day job. I mean, so that's the interesting thing. So you've kind of gone through that. You've built yourself a career back in the UK.
Everybody has.
Yeah.
Everybody from the 90s who learnt the hard way, who used to rely on club promoting or DJing, then when it all finished, they all got day jobs. So they had to go back to what you'd call normality in a way.
The 9 to 5.
There is no normality. There is no normality. Try and tell me what normal is, and I'll tell you it's a load of testicles, right? And so like Alex P is a van driver, 4 o'clock till 9 o'clock in the morning. Brandon Block does mental health stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm a site manager, and I do some other stuff. Andy, my partner's a site manager. This man does that. Seb Fontaine works for a music company, and then they DJ at the weekends. So they've learned, do you know what I mean? Instead of getting out of bed 10 o'clock in the morning, we've all done our partying. Now you've got to juggle.
Yeah. And those, like all of those names you mentioned, now it's kind of gone full circle in
Total
that.
full circle, yeah. Everybody's so busy.
What was the catalyst for you that made you think, let's revive Clockwork Orange and get it back to Ibiza?
I never did.
No?
No. When it finished. But the one thing that we did back in the day is we always had disposable cameras. Always had cameras that you took to Boots and you got processed. And you'd have 35 shit photos, but you'd have that one money shot, that one picture or 2 shots. Do you know what I mean? And or the photographers that we paid to take stuff, or we used to buy video cameras and we used to film a lot of our stuff and also get stuff videoed. So I had all that. I'd lost a little bit of it, but not a lot. And I had loads of albums in the loft, and then my mum had loads of stuff in her loft, and I was looking for it. I was going, oh my God. And they're just quality pictures, mad pictures. When Mambo's was nothing. When San Antonio was just like a back tap, before it all went crazy. And Camden and the Cross and all these parties that we did in the film studios, and I went, right. And I got them all uploaded on. So first of all, you had the little VHS cassettes, the little one, and I got all them converted, and then the bloke who converted them was an old bloke, and he went, hi, Denny. I went, who's that? He went, Mike, who's converted all your old VHS to DVD. I went, oh, yeah. He went, just to let you know, there's a couple of blue movies in there you didn't know you made when you was younger. And I was like, oh, really? And he went, yeah. He went, what I've done is I've put a blue sticker on them for you so you know what they are. And I looked at him, I was like, that's the past. I just destroyed them. So all them videos that we had, it's quite funny when he rang me that geezer. He was straight as a die, and he told me, and I went, did you watch them? Oh, no, I didn't watch them. I said, well, how do you know what they are then? He went, well, I could tell from the beginning.
He's got copies of them.
Yeah, totally. Like, yeah, imagine that all comes out. I'll be like, well, I look good. I was young, and I was a bit fit when I was younger. I'll be like, proud here. And so he converted them from VHS to DVD. Then I converted them from DVD to MP3. Then I uploaded them from MP3 onto YouTube. So I've got a YouTube channel called the Danny Clockwork, where he's got all the old... The first ever party we done, January the 23rd, 1993, is on there. And there's all these banging music and a bit of laser and all these people dancing around. And then... But the photographs are what made it happen, because I used all my albums. And I'm talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photographs. And then my friends' albums. And any friends, and then Andy, my business partner, any pictures he had, and I just scanned them, upload them all to Facebook, copied people in, tagged that person, and the result of what you was asking for was people started talking. Mm-hmm. People started talking, and I was like, oh, and you can feel it. Like promoting is a buzz. Promoting is a talent. It's not something you can learn it, but it's almost like a gift of a talent it's like a sixth sense, and there was a buzz on Facebook about it, and people going, oh, look at these photos and all that, and Clockwork and all this stuff. And Andy rang me up, and he used to say to me, because we'd all started going camping, having a laugh, boys laugh, and everyone's like doing whatever, and there's me all sober, drinking cans of Coca-Cola, but I loved it. And Andy went to me, he used to say to me at camping, do you fancy it? I was like, nah, I don't. And then I'd done this interview for this guy on the embankment. And when I'd done his interview, and he said to me about Clockwork, and I said, all I ever want to do, hopefully one day, is get 300 people together and have like an old school reunion just to see everybody again. Well, funny enough, 6 months after that, or a few months after that, that's when the buzz happened. That's when Andy said, "Do you fancy it?" I went, "Do you know what? I actually had the buzz back for it again. I could feel it." We got McQueen's on my 40th birthday, 10th of March 2012, and we sold the 600 tickets in about 2 days. And I was like, "Hold on." And then we waited a year. He went, "We've got to do another party." And I went, "No, let's wait a year." And then we've done 2,500. And it's just gone onwards and upwards from there. Yeah.
Wow. And yeah.
I wouldn't have done it. If it wouldn't have been for Facebook, I wouldn't have done it.
And that's the thing, like, so I suppose, how has that promotion game changed in the 2 eras that you've been operating in? You know, is it all social media now?
It's all social media, yeah.
There's no...
We don't hardly
That's
spend
the word of
money.
mouth, yeah.
There's a little bit of money you spend on social media, on Facebook. There's no flyers anymore. That's like, what is a flyer? There's no posters, even in Ibiza. Andy said to me last year, "We do some posters." I went, "What's the point?" There is no point. They're in a shop, they get taken down. They're in a shop window in the middle of nowhere, no one can read it. Posters mean nothing nowadays. Back then, you could put... Back in 94, 95, people actually posted a police car in Ibiza, in San Antonio. Covered it, wallpaper paste, and posters all over a police car. You can get killed if you did that now. Then they then there was all old shop windows that used to have all the posters everywhere, and that becomes unsightly and ugly, which is fair enough. Then they put up the poster boards. Then the billboards arrived. And like the comparison between then is you'd give out the flyers, you had the posters, the magazines, and anything else you could get written about. Nothing was really online then. It was all like Leap magazine, M8 magazine, Ministry, Mix Mag, all them kind of magazines, Time Out. And now it's just Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's all you need.
That's it. But it's hard. It's still hard. You've got to keep on it. And, you know, all our content we use is always fresh. If you're going to use the same design flyer and pump it out every day and go, it's going to be amazing. I mean, it's like, you might as well hit yourself over the head with a stick.
It becomes wallpaper, yeah, totally.
Yeah, you've got to be creative in what you do. You've got to be creative in what you do. But, yeah, compared to the old days, I mean, you know, we started Clockwork 94 and they invented the internet in 94. I mean, look how that's gone. You know what I mean? I feel like a dinosaur. When I say, like, when you take these kids, like, before the internet, it's like, what are you talking about? The internet was, like, millions of years ago. When the Earth was created, when there was dinosaurs. No, it wasn't. It was 25 years ago this year, 1994.
Do you think that's a positive change that's happened? Or?
Nah, I think the world's too quick now.
Yeah.
The world's too quick. I've got, like, as I said, I'm writing, like, I've nearly finished writing a book. I'm about 99% there. I've got to proofread it. I'm going to Australia. This ain't an ego thing. I'm going to Australia next week for Clockwork. Next Thursday. And then we're doing a party in Perth, and then we're doing a party on the QE2 ship. We're not doing a boat party, we're doing a ship party. Like, taking it to another level on the sun deck of the QE2, and I'm taking my, hopefully, nearly enough final proof with me on the plane to, like, read it. But, like, one of these, and I make movies up in my head. I've got about 4 or 5 movies, like, spinning around in my head, and I do them every night before I go to sleep. And one of them is about someone who brings down the internet, the worldwide.
Could be
it
you.
all going back, and then someone, like, then someone doing a re-evaluation of it, like, 10 years after, and him telling his kids or he's telling his grandchildren what the world used to be like. What it used to be like, then what it was like with the internet, and how it's gone back to how it was. You know what I mean? Everything just like... Now everything's like, if you don't get an email back in a second, you know, you used to have to wait. One of our old business partners, we had a guy involved, and we say to him, you've got to have a mobile, Brian. Why? So people can contact you. He used to go, well, let them leave a message for me at home, and when I get home in the evening, I'll talk to them. It's like, but no, it's got to be now. That's how the world is now. It's just milliseconds. It's just madness.
Yeah.
It's too quick. I think, like, you know, my mum used to go up to the corner and ring someone on a phone box and then come home. Now, by the time she's gone to the phone box and back, I could have sent 100 emails, Facebook, this, that, the other. So you're constantly, you know, and social media in your phones, it's just, that's it. It's almost like an addiction. I get sick of it, my phone. I get sick of it to the point where I've had enough. And I put it down, I go, I'm sick of it. And I'm back on it 30 seconds later. I kid you not. Because you've got to. I can't switch off because you've got to reply and attend to, like, your business, what you've set out. But other than that, it's not helpful. Yeah. It's just instant. That's all it is, instant. Yeah. Everything's now instant.
So, but it's given you the opportunity to take your brand kind of
Oh,
worldwide,
totally,
I
yeah.
suppose.
Totally.
You mentioned Perth, and I think it'll probably happen before this podcast goes out, but you guys are doing the QE2 in Dubai in April. But you're also doing the big events in Ibiza this summer.
And the festival.
25th anniversary.
The festival, June the 22nd, Clockstock,
and you're doing print works in September.
Yep.
You're doing fabric all day and all night in
all day.
November,
No, it
is
starts.
that?
No, it's actually 2 till 10 or 1 till 10, and then we're doing McQueen's afterwards from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock. It's an after party. I love an after party. There's more life in them old people than there is. That's what the kids said. There was some kid put an Instagram post on about last year at the beach that we did in Ibiza that's now illegal. And some kid put on Instagram partying with these old people down at Clockwork Orange. They can't off party. Do you know what I mean? They can't off party. It was leaving the kids for dead, mate. Leaving the kids for dead.
And is that
veterans? Do you know what I mean? You want to
yeah.
call in the professionals, you call in the veterans.
Well, it's like you said earlier about all of these guys and men and women, all this scene that existed in the 90s. Everyone's gone away, carved a career, a semi kind of sensible life, and yet they still feel that need to go out there. Totally.
It's in your blood. You think we had not a care in the world. You lived in your mum's or your dad's bedroom, or you lived with a mate, and it was all about partying. You could go out every single night of the week, near enough. Mondays and Tuesdays a bit rubbish, but Wednesday maybe. Thursdays there was some stuff. Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, it was going on, and you lived to party. People got married, people got divorced, people got fat, lost their hair, had kids, moved on, become grandparents. This is the mad thing about our lot. They become grandparents as well. Mortgages, paid the mortgages, then the divorces came, then the deaths, all that stuff. Then the kids left home, because you're talking about a long time. And it's almost like a second chance. Yeah. You know what I mean? All that, and then after that, and it's like, right, all that's over. I'm not with her no more, I'm not with him, or we still like partying, or the kids have gone. That's it. It's like it's a second coming. And we're lucky. It's like, as I say, at Clockwork, you only live twice. Yeah. You only live once, but we've been given a second opportunity. And that's why I grasp Clockwork with both hands. Yeah. That's when I don't want to do the stuff. When I don't want to do it, I know I've got to do it. I've got to keep pushing myself to do it, because I've been blessed with a second opportunity. And
so that house music scene, it was such a brand new thing, and everyone's grown up with it. Everyone seems a bit surprised that it's kind of got this second life, but it's the first time this kind of thing has got to this age, you know. So it's going to last forever, isn't it? It's going to last. It's like rock and roll, whatever. That's not dead.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is the second one, but then it could do, because you think of like lifespan. Some people come into it late, some people come into it early. There won't be a third coming.
You don't think?
There's a second coming. Yeah, there won't be a third coming. I'll be 60, 70 years old. There's no way I'm staying in the club when I'm 60, 70 years old. No way. If I'm alive. Huh?
You could be the next Tony Pine.
No. He did what he did and stuff like that. Nah, you know, it's got a certain longevity. Whether it goes on for however many years it goes on, you know. But I mean, yeah, I don't want my life to be getting crazier. I want my life to be getting easier. I could make my life easier. I could give up the day job and probably do this and lay in bed, do it from a phone. But then you just get even lazier. So, you know, I get up and go to work.
So what's the audience for Clockwork Orange now? Is it targeting the veterans of that scene, or are people bringing
all about the old people,
their second generations along, bringing their kids and showing them how they did it?
The older generation, totally the older generation. That's what it's all about. But because of the vibe spreading and the atmosphere, and then you get the like-minded youngsters who want to come, you know, and what Clockwork's all about, the Orange Army, and you know, I based the promotion and I based what it should be about when we relaunched all on my sobriety, all what I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous. Do you know what I mean? Like, who are we to judge? So if you've got someone dancing like a loon in a corner, who are you to laugh at them because they want to dance? Do you know what I mean? All things like that. And it's called the Clocky Way.
It's the togetherness, isn't it?
Exactly. Union. You find a wallet, you hand that wallet in. You find a purse or a watch or a ring or whatever, you fit in. Don't be a scumbag and nick it. What are you trying to achieve? What, you've gone out and you've had a night out and you're going to go and pawn a ring for 30 quid. Do you know what I mean? It's scummy, isn't it? So look after each other. Look out for each other. You know what I mean? I want to come to Ibiza on my own, and you see people on the group that go, well, you're never on your own. You can come with us. And then someone will go, I went last year and I had no friends and I had an amazing time, because it's how it should be. Yeah. It's ultimately the bare essentials. It ain't no new invention. It ain't no new thing. It's how it should be fundamentally. Do you know what I mean? Like, kind, gracious, giving, loving, loyal, not loyal, all the positive attributes of a human being. It's not hard to do.
All in one place, everyone.
Yeah, the arrogance, and we've done all that. Sniffing bugle, standing there in Dolce & Gabbana, looking at people. Look at you, I've got £2 of bugle and £2 in my pocket. I'm the bollocks, but I'm just an insecure, like messed up, immature fool. That's the reality. So we've done all that, put all that to bed, and then, it's called growing up as well. And it comes with a little bit of wisdom and age and maturity, and you can't do that unless you've actually been through and done it.
When you boil it all down, it all comes back to the music.
Kids can't do that. You've got to go through that. Kids, the young kids, they've got to go through all that stuff. Oh, look at that old man with his grey hair. I was that young kid saying, who's that old man with the grey hair? One day I was that kid, thinking I'm never going to get old, thinking it's going to be hard to get out of bed in the morning. Do you know what I mean? At 47 years old, creaking. Like, oh, I don't want to go to work, but I've got to go. People go, you've got grey hair. I go, it ain't grey. It's fucking white. My hair's gone white through stress, madness, age. They say it comes with wisdom. No, my hair went grey when I was 18, and when I was 18, I was far from wise, But, that's the thing with our age. We started in the 90s, and then it's like, we started and it's 25 years later. And in them 25 years, I've been mad, I've been addicted. I'm 16 years sober down the line, and, and in them last 16 years is when I discovered who I really was, And then Clockwork wouldn't have been what it is today if we wouldn't have based it on the basis of what I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. That's the truth. All their little sayings, which I brought forward into there and and weaned into Clockwork. Because otherwise it would have all just been about let's go out, madness and all that. And that's not what it's all about.
Yeah, keep it positive.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's such a great story. 25 years in Ibiza. What are the next 25 years going to be for Clockwork Orange, do you think?
Next 25 years. If it's not Andy's daughter and son and my daughter doing something with it, then, we've got the festival now. That's the main thing. We're on 11,000 tickets, 65 DJs, an amazing venue, Chelmsford City Racecourse. It's just amazing. We get the sunshine. Everything else we cracked. We've got a spot on. We get the sunshine as well. It's going to go down in history. Festival's an old word. Do you know what I mean? I don't want it to be a festival. It's going to be a clock stock. It's going to be a new thing. Do you know what I mean? Don't keep using the same old shit and keep throwing it at a festival. It's boring. It's like, what? Do yourself a favour. Try and think of something different. Market it different. When people say festival, no, it's not. It's a clock stock. And I want it to be, I'm saying do something original, but I want it to look across them fields and it's just rocking everywhere. Then I know I've cracked it. The sunshine and it's just going off everywhere. That's all you can ask. And
you think that's the future in terms of?
Not is that. Ibiza's good. I love it. I love Ibiza. If I couldn't do Ibiza, I wouldn't. It's like if someone said, come and work for me doing promoting. No, I don't want to because my art's in Clockwork. I grew that with Andy, and that's been my baby and my buzz and my history. I couldn't go and work for someone and work for them and promote their stuff because there'd be no energy behind it. So where's it going to be in 25 years? 25 years when I'm 72, I'll probably be dead. So wherever Clockwork is, God knows where.
It'll be in good hands, hopefully.
Yeah. I'll be in a bucket in the garden. My missus will let the local fox wee up against me. I'll say she'll go, thank God he's gone. Or in some unattended grave covered with mildew and old daffodils growing out the side that someone planted when I first passed away. But I think we're all doing quite well. I think those people in the 90s who pickled themselves, they seem to have preserved themselves in some way with all them chemicals and potions. I do seem to be I'm like, oh, hold on. No one's really, touch wood, touch everything. But everyone seems to, they seem to have preserved themselves. No one really dying. You hear about some stuff, which is more of oh wow, so-and-so's passed away. But it ain't like last week was 30 people all going to a party. They all just went. They all seem to be going quite well, quite well.
So, in the future, you guys have worked with so many DJs, so many different venues, so many different, like, you know, festival, Ibiza, Printworks, etc. Are there any DJs that you haven't worked with, or any venues that you really want to put on an event? What's the dream beyond what you've already done?
There's no dream venue.
No.
No dream venue. I mean, you could talk about coup. They call it privilege. I call it coup. But no, not really. No. I mean, the festival is the one, and growing that into something like spectacular. But there's a lot of spectacular like festivals out there. I watched something the other day. There was a plane flying over the crowd with lasers and fireworks coming out of it, like the finale. Someone said, "Why don't you do that?" I went, "You can't do it." I said, "It'll cost a fortune." I said, "No, without health and safety." I said, "You have to be normal nowadays. You have to. There's so much that goes into it." But no, it's like maybe Fatboy Slim or Carl Cox, but we never thought we'd get Eric Murillo. We tried all them years and we got him, and like, you know, it took me a lot of hard work and backwards and forwards and this and that and years of trying to get him, and then finally we got him. Sanchez, you know what I mean? We thought we got him. Todd Terry. It's another level. So like the next level is your Fatboy Slims, all them other like people, you know, anyone who's like new on the scene or like, you know, silly other people. No, the people we know who can rock it would be Fatboy Slim, Carl Cox. That's what our crowd would like, and yeah, that's it. And then just creating your own stuff. Really, I never thought I'd do Amnesia. I never thought I'd go back to Ibiza. In all them years that we weren't doing parties, I was like, no. I was like, you know, I never dreamt about it. Talk to people. I used to do parties out here. And they used to go, "Did you?" And then someone I knew who was there, they go, "Listen, trust me." They did. "Oh, really?" No, they'd never heard of it because time had moved on. And you're like, okay, acceptance is the key. But just onwards and upwards from where we're going. Onwards and upwards from where we're going. It's good. Working with all the venues now. Do you know what I mean? As you said, like Fabric, we've got that. Printworks, biggest venue in London.
Yeah, you're in a great place.
Yeah, so it's good. Yeah, it's good, and I'm grateful.
Awesome. So, I mean, I know we're kind of carrying on here, but to kind of wrap it up, us at House Culture, we're trying to build the perfect playlist for our fans. So we ask our guests to pick 5 tracks based around specific themes. I think we kind of teed you up for this anyway to get you thinking anyway. Your creative juice is thinking. He's picked up his phone, so hopefully giving it some notes to yourself.
He's
but
ultimate. What I found is he's you don't want a picture of my Willie, do you? I'm joking.
Not yet.
I'm joking. Oh, hey, hold on. It's gone full circle. Yeah, what I don't like is, like, you know, when we came back and how we realised that we was developing a new sound, because Clockwork's all about the remixes and the edits of the old ones. Because to hear like your Career and Patty Day and all that, you could drop some of them tunes at a certain time and it will go ballistic. You know, like Debbie Malone, all that. What we've done on the beach, done that. We went Patty Day into Debbie Malone and the place was going off. But I can't be hearing all that stuff that I've listened to for 25 years. It's like if you eat a bacon sandwich every day for 25 years, you're going to get pissed off with it. Do you know what I mean? So you had a bit of tomato sauce, a bit of Worcester, a bit of mustard.
Spice it up a bit.
That's exactly what it is, and that's what our stuff is nowadays. So like them old tunes, I love them, but I like it when we have someone that plays stuff that is from that era, but they've really gone out their way to put that set together. Where when you hear it,
take.
you go, fucking hell, I haven't heard that for so. And when you go, I haven't heard that for so long, all of a sudden you're 16 or 17. And you are where you heard it again. Do you know what I mean? It's like a smell. If I smell something, or when I'm in Ibiza and I smell the pine, I feel like I'm home, or I smell coffee, or olives. When I smell olives, I'm in Barcelona in 1996, arranging Ibiza for 1997, just before it went crazy. So smells and sounds like take me to places. But I mean, I've got your sunset tune would be La Femme d'Argent. I was after that one. You wanted that one, didn't you?
Air, yeah.
Air.
So to soundtrack the perfect sunset.
Yeah, that's like one of. You don't forget you're doing a 2-hour sunset.
It's difficult to narrow it down to one.
In 2001, when I left, I went to work for someone, and I was listening to that on the Walkman.
It starts with the rainfall. It's so beautiful.
I'm thinking, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
Where's it all gone wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, I was in a proper old mad place. It was only 2 years later that everything stopped. But I'm listening to that, and I just go off in my head, you know what I mean? And I've played that at Mambo, so you got that one. And then you got The Chase. It's called The Chase. This is an old tune. So then also The Sunset. You got Le Nuit by Nightmares on Wax.
Nightmares on Wax, yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of them tunes that I think is almost made like I don't believe in heaven, I don't believe in hell, but when you listen to something like that, someone had something special going on when they made that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It ain't all about music. You got a connection to something like a spirituality. When you hear that, you're like, it's powerful.
It's a feeling.
Yeah. The Chase Model 500.
Yeah.
Smooth Mix. That's an old, like, kind of techno kind of tune from like 1990.
So that would be your floor filler? Or?
No, that's one that I'd listen to if someone like played it. But then you've got where am I going to go with this one? I'll tell you right. I'll tell you what the one, and we always think about it. We always go. It's not, people call it cheesy, but I think it's one of the greatest tunes. And we used to play it a lot when we first started. And when we played it was the last tune we played on the beach, like the first or the second beach. It's Alison Limerick, Where Love Lives. All of it, I mean, the girls love it. That's it. Most people love it. When you hear 3,000 people on the beach singing it back to you at 12 o'clock midnight, it's powerful. But my favourite bit is the strings at the end. And anybody who mixes over that, I want to smash their head in. I swear to you. It's like that radio presenter when they're talking and they're playing Hotel California, and just before the guitar bit comes in, he goes, now we're going to the news. It's like, what? Where do you live? I want to find you and hunt you down and personally bite you. You know what I mean? So it'd be like Alison Limerick.
That's your ultimate last tune.
It's one of them ones where you go like, because nowadays with the edits, you've got the old tunes from the old days, and you've got the edits, and some of these new tunes have been remixed 5 times. So you've got 30, 40 times more music than what you used to have. And it's coming out all again. And then you've got tech house. Then you've got all these other genres going on. So, I used to love that. And little Tony Nichols, and he knows that. He's a friend of mine, and he knows, like, if he's playing it and he's anywhere near me, you don't mix over the strings. You like that bit, that really cool bit at the end.
Biting time, otherwise.
It's my favourite bit. Yeah. He gets bitten. Yeah, like a pit bull, ravaged around like a little rag doll. Like.
So that's your last tune. What was the first tune that you mentioned? House and hip house at the top of this interview. What was the one that got you into house music? That first one you heard. And was like, what is this?
My first one was Jesus Loves Acid. The stuff that when I hear it and it takes me to a different place is Feeling Good, Pressure Drop. Mm-hmm. That's 88, 89. When you hear things like Get Into the Music, 1990 Serious Mix, DJ's Rule. Different stuff that when you haven't heard them for ages. When you haven't heard them for ages, you go, oh my God. Do you know what I mean? All like the same ones that people play and like boom, 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 boom. But when someone drops something like that, it's like, bosh. It's thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
It's like one of them, it is a classic for them eras, but it's like a forgotten classic.
And what's a tearjerker for you? It doesn't necessarily even have to be a house music track. What one kind of fills you full of emotion?
The one that used to be the most powerful for me was when that 5-hour set that I spoke about, when Jeremy Lee done his 5-hour set on the 5th anniversary, 5th of August. I think 3/4 of the way through his set, when he played Agnelli and Nelson El Nino. Yeah, it's like powerful, and I was just like, I don't think I'd heard it until he actually played it. It might have come out in 97.
Yeah.
But it's almost like when Jeremy used to play, like Tony Wilson, that other guy. When they played music, they all played the same tunes, but when they played it, it sounded different. Do you know what I mean? It was like when someone makes something, it's like, how did you cook that? Well, I've done it this way. Well, if I did it, it wouldn't taste the same as that. It's the same as Jeremy. Looking over 3,500 people, like, going
such a build up on that
and it
tune
like
as
that,
well.
and it going off. And it's one of them ones where it evokes maybe
I'm
tears.
Getting a bit of
exactly
thinking about it.
Like pure goosebumps up the back of your head and all your arms. You know what I mean? And you know, and I mean, powerful.
Yeah,
powerful. Andy played it. I made him play it. I played it at 338 about 3-4 years ago, and I didn't make him, but I said, and he said he'd play it when we'd done Sankey's in Ibiza 2 years ago. The power had been shut off. The whole club went out. Just opened the doors. Just to start on a Clockwork weekend in Ibiza. The whole street goes black. Like, what is going on? People in the club had to come out, health and safety reasons. What's going on, Dan? I don't know. So please just go up the road and have a drink and come back. Some people moaning, some people their money back. I was like, I don't need this. I don't need one weekend and they've got a power cut. 45 minutes later, the power comes on. All it going inside, all the lights, see all these people roar in the street. everybody comes back. Everybody's inside. Everybody's rocking. Victor Simonelli said he's never seen anything like it. It was like full in 10 minutes, and they're just going mental for it. It actually created a bit of buzz. And Andy dropped Agnelli and Nelson, and it just went off. It just went off.
Yeah.
It was quality.
Amazing.
So that's always my tune that I will remember.
That
Yeah.
really gets you.
Yeah, really like if someone played it, at that right time,
Yeah.
It's a bugger to mix, but yeah.
And so what's your floor filler, though, if you had to play? If you wanted, wanted to get everyone on the floor singing along or slamming down.
It would be that one.
It would be
Alice in Limerick.
Yeah.
That'd be Alice in Limerick.
Alice in Limerick.
Yeah, it'd be that one.
Yeah.
Be that one. It's cheesy now. They say it's cheesy, but it ain't. It's
good,
overplayed.
there's good music, there's bad music. There's it's got lush instrumentation on it. It's beautiful.
It's a wicked tune. The end is my favourite.
Yeah.
The end is my favourite. The end's got class to it. Do you know what I mean? It's got class. It's got a punch to it. But that's what the birds love. They're like the girls. Let's call them the girls. That's what the girls love. They love a bit of Alice in Limerick. And vocals.
Yeah.
I thought Clockwork was all about up tempo, pumping, whatever, and I've learnt in our second time that it's not all about that. That's what I like playing. I can't play down tempo. Bores the fucking life out of me, I can tell you. Sometimes you've got to do a warm up, so you ain't going to get much of a warm up out of me, mate. I'm going to take it right. Not crazy, but I'm going to take it up. I'm going to have
El Nino on first.
double funky and rolling from the start. You know what I mean? Let's get you going at 9 o'clock.
Our final question is, what does house culture mean to you? What's the spirit that drives you in terms of house music?
House music?
Yeah. Everything around it. What just sum it all up.
House music is giving me my life. My life has been house music. That is it. When I thought I'd arrived when hip hop came into the scene, but when house music arrived in my life, that's what took me to a new dimension. It's been my life. It's been my profession. It's been my vocation and my passion. I've always got it on. I've got it on in the morning. I've got it on at work. I've got it on when I get home. I work with it. I go and DJ with it at the weekends. So, it's my life. I love finding them old, forgotten gems. And when you hear them, you're like, oh, my God, my missus is like, and she don't get it. That's a lovely thing. That's why we work so well. She don't get it. And you can't say nothing greater than it has been my life. It has been my life. And even when I stopped drinking, I thought I had to stop listening to house music. Someone said to me, you should stop listening to the music that gives you a buzz or will take you back to that place. Oh, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? I used to come home from work, newly sober, smashed to pieces mentally, with the music on as loud as I could because I was buzzing off the music. Do you know what I mean? It's a natural buzz. When people say that to me years ago, it's a natural thing. I used to go, shut up. I was like, what? We're talking about natural high. There used to be a band in 95 called Natural High, and I used to say, what a stupid band name. But it's a buzz. There is a buzz to the music, and the music can make you happy, sad, chill you out, can take you to another place. Sometimes when I'm really knackered, I'll have a mix with my headphones on, and I'll come off, and at 8 till 9, I want to go to sleep. I'll do an hour and a half mix, 9:30, and I come off, I'm buzzing. I don't want to go to bed. I'm like, where did that come from? Do you know what I mean? It gives me energy. It gives me life. It's everything that I am. It's everything that I am, and I absolutely adore it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic thought to end on. Thank you so much.
No worries. Now
Brilliant.
I'm going to bite you. Hey! Chump, chump, on the bit.
House culture.
Wow. Well, what can you say? I hope you enjoyed listening to Danny as much as I enjoyed interviewing him. What a character he is. Full of great stories, and as we heard, there's plenty more to come from him and Clockwork Orange in 2019. Did all get a bit loose at the end there though, with Danny's choices of tracks that we're going to put into House Culture's perfect playlist. However, his catalysts, the tracks that first got him into house music, were DJ's Rule, Get Into the Music, the Serious Club Mix, and the Ecstasy Club's Jesus Loves the Acid. His Sunsetters were La Femme d'Argent by Air, Les Nuits by Nightmares on Wax, and the Balearic gem that is the smooth mix of Model 500's The Chase. As we heard his Tearjerker, the track that just fills him with emotion was Agnelli and Nelson's absolutely slamming anthem El Nino. And finally, his floor filler was as well as his favourite last tune, was the unbeatable Alison Limerick, Where Love Lives. Just make sure you don't cut those strings off at the end, yeah? You can find all of the tracks we discussed in this episode on House Culture's Perfect playlist on Spotify, so make sure you search for that and follow it to keep yourself up to date with the selections from all of our lovely podcast interviewees. Also, make sure you subscribe to us so you never miss out on future House Culture podcast releases. Please, love, like, tweet, share, tell your friends, leave us a review. We'd love to get your thoughts and could get you a shout out on a future episode, so be nice. Don't forget, if you want to party with Team House Culture and Clockwork Orange in Ibiza this year, and what I'm sure will be a weekend that will go down in Balearic legend, you need to get yourself some tickets pretty sharpish. These are available from the Clockwork Orange site at www.clockworkorange.co. And why don't you come follow us and keep abreast of all things house culture by hitting up our Instagram feed at houseculturenet or by following the hashtag #TrueHouseCulture. Finally, you can reach out to me, Matt Rouse, directly on Instagram at DJ Matt Rouse. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
House culture.